Lorenzo Cain off to a great start. His first 4 games, 9 hits already. Hit his first home run of the season yesterday. And Paul DeJong, a breakout season a year ago. He has carried it over to 2018. It's the Brewers and the Cardinals coming up. We welcome you from beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Look at that. Hang out outside, do some tailgating. Oh, praise that roof tonight. We're ready for game 2. It is no problem. Inside Miller Park, we got the Cardinals and the Brewers. And the Brewers opening day starter Chase Anderson is back on the mound. Anderson last year against the Cardinals, 2-0 record, had an ERA in the low 3s. Jack Flaherty will be his mound opponent. We saw him at the end of the year last season. Flaherty making his first start of this season. And with that, we welcome you inside Miller Park. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us, everyone. Sophia Minute is our reporter. We'll hear from her in just a moment. There's a lot of ways you could go right now with the Brewers. They have started the season 3-1, their first loss of the year yesterday. But I know what makes this guy really happy is to talk about catching. So we're going to talk about Manny Pena today, and not just offensively. He did hit a home run yesterday, but what he does defensively as well is special.
Nice of you to let me do that here today.
It's a nice...
Nobody really knew who Manny Pena was in spring training last year, but he has made a name for himself, not just at the plate, but behind home plate. He's 3 for 4 throwing out base runners this year, and that doesn't even include the guys that won't even run against him. We saw that last year. He picks off guys, throws them out, very quick feet. Ball's right on the money all the time, and he can come up with some big home runs as well. He hit a bunch of them last year, and yesterday he hit the big home run in the right center to give the Brewers a lead. Manny Pena, a guy that nobody really knew about last year. Well, the word is out. Base runners beware. Don't be running on Manny this year.
First catcher, Brewer catcher, to ever homer at Miller Park on opening day. That is now Manny Pena's record alone. Chase Anderson, his home debut tonight. Sophia standing by with more on the Brewers opening day starter. We continue from Miller Park after this. Milwaukee Brewers. And finishing it with a sweep in San Diego. The home opener started with energy and ended with their first loss of the season. Now the pregame ceremonies are over, but the importance of each game remains the same. It's game 2, the Cardinals and the Brewers, next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
this, and Anderson with a strikeout. Big curveball called. Strike 3. Ring the bell.
Votto is down on strikes. Going back inside. Fastball got him.
Chase Anderson preparing for his home debut, the second start of the season, getting ready for Game 2 between the Brewers and the Cardinals. Chase Anderson pitched like an ace last year. You go all the way back to July of 2016. Elite company for Chase Anderson with a .267 earned run average. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park. And Chase Anderson earned the opening day nod because of how he pitched going all the way back to 2016, but especially the year that he put together in 2017. He's coming off of 6 shutout innings against the Padres and spoke with me yesterday about how he wants to continue to build off of that strong start here tonight.
I think the biggest thing for me is trying to keep locked in. I'm thinking, it's 0-0 the whole game, and when the games are close, I feel like I'm at my best, just because I know there's not much room for error. And that was my main goal when I got the opening day opportunity, was to go out there, like you said, set the tone, and I feel like I did a pretty good job of it. So, not just me, but the team did a really good job.
Chase Anderson has a streak of 17 straight quality starts. Can he do it again tonight against the Cardinals? We've got first pitch and lineups coming up next. Brewers and Cardinals on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Season. The Brewers have experienced the excitement of opening day on the road and finishing it with a sweep in San Diego. The home opener started with energy and ended with their first loss of the season. Now the pregame ceremonies are over, but the importance of each game remains the same. It's Game 2, the Cardinals and the Brewers, next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Roof is closed up on a very cold, rainy night in Wisconsin. Beautiful inside Miller Park. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minert. Great to have you with us. Our producer, Brent Reeland, director, Renardo Lowe. There's Mike Matheny, 7th season as the Cardinal manager, took over in 2012. First 4 seasons, Matheny and the Cardinals made it to the postseason. His batting order is courtesy of Potawatomi, Dexter Fowler, Tommy Pham, and Matt Carpenter at the top. Ozuna, Martinez, Molina in the middle, with the young Wong and Flaherty rounding out the starting 9 that will match up against Chase Anderson, who makes his Miller Park debut in 2018. And his first pitch is swung on and driven into deep right center field, and it is gone. And with a bang, Dexter Fowler starts this game with a long ball. Fowler had started his season 0 for his first 14. Had an RBI hit yesterday and now a home run, his first of the year.
Yeah, fastball right down the middle. Tried to shoot the outside corner with it. He missed. First pitch of the game, and Fowler gives the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. Like Cardinals use a long ball effectively in yesterday's game.
Here's Tommy Pham. He takes ball one before we can even get into Chase Anderson and how good he pitched against the San Diego Padres. He finds himself behind 1-0. And now Pham sends one high and deep. That is way back and not coming back. And it's 2-0 Cardinals. Cardinals come out swinging tonight after winning yesterday. Their second win of the year. Fowler and Pham deliver back-to-back home runs, each hitting their first home runs of the season.
Yep, all about location and fastballs too much of the plate. He didn't do that last time out against San Diego. That pitch up, out over the plate, tried to come in with it. He missed out over the plate, and Pham able to knock it out of here to right center.
Here is Matt Carpenter now. He takes a strike.
First 2 runs allowed by Chase this year.
Anderson went 6 shutout, only 1 hit allowed against the San Diego Padres on opening day last Thursday. Left that game with a lead. Here's Carpenter into center field, and that'll be playable as Lorenzo Cain hauls it in, the first out of the ball game for Chase Anderson.
Outstanding work against San Diego on opening day in San Diego. We were talking about it. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. He really mixed his pitches well, pitched in effectively, allowed only 1 hit in 6 innings, and Brewers would win that game in extra innings.
Anderson has been one of the better pitchers in the game if you go back to a particular stretch that started in July of 2016 as he deals strike 1 to Ozuna. Going back to July 25th of 2016, Chase Anderson is 17-5 with a 2.61 ERA. Finished the season strong 2 years ago. Was terrific all of last season minus a month window when he was out with an oblique injury. And he's carried it over into his first start of the season this year.
Just a lot of confidence in all 4 of his pitches. I mean, he can throw any 4 of them any time. He struggled with the fastball in his first inning, but the curveball, changeup, very good his last time out.
Marcell Ozuna, newcomer to the Cardinals, coming over from the Marlins. Down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. That 38 start window we're talking about that covers a little over a season and a half for Chase Anderson is 3rd best. There's a swing and a miss. Ozuna strikes out, and 2 gone in the inning. Yeah, only Corey Kluber and Max Scherzer with better numbers over that stretch.
Yeah, cutter down, and Ozuna chases it. Ozuna's had good success against Chase Anderson before that at bat. Well located to cutter down and away.
So back-to-back home runs, now 2 quick outs, and here is Jose Martinez. Again getting the start at first base for St. Louis. Cardinals did put Jed Jerko on the disabled list today. Remember, he left yesterday's game with a hamstring injury. Cardinals brought up Harrison Bader, an outfielder, as their extra man on the bench tonight, playing with a 4-man bench, an 8-man bullpen for Mike Matheny. After St. Louis won the opener of this series yesterday. There's the former Brewer, Mike Matheny.
Hard to believe it's been 7 years now for Mike Matheny.
They took over in 2012. That team made it into the wild card game. That was the first year they had the 2 wild card teams play it off the play-in game, if you will. That was against the Atlanta Braves that year. First 4 years Matheny managed the Cardinals, they went into the postseason. But they have missed the last 2 years. Cardinals finished third place in the division last season behind the Cubs and the Brewers. 3 balls and a strike. 2 outs in the first. And Martinez pops it foul and out of play.
Yeah, a little behind the fastball. 92 miles an hour, the 4-seamer. Martinez fouled off a 3-0 pitch. And the Cardinals believe in swinging 3-0. Jed Jerko had an RBI double yesterday against Davies on a 3-0 count.
This will be the first time this season in Game 5 that the Brewers have not taken the lead first. They've scored first in each of their first 4 games. Cardinals get 2 on the board before most people even get to their seats here tonight. Brewers are going to see a lot of the Cardinals over the next week. They'll see him again 3 more times in St. Louis, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. 3-2 pitch. Hot shot through, base hit. Jose Martinez with a single to left. And the 3rd Cardinal hit in this first inning.
They have pretty much the same location of the ball that Pham hit out to right center, up and in. Well, let's check out the Brewers as they line up defensively. You got the same outfield that they had in yesterday's game. You got Braun, Kane, and Yelich from left to right. Shaw, Arcia, VR, and Thames around the horn, and Manny Pena once again behind home plate. And the same lineup as yesterday.
Santana continues to sit. All points him in the lineup tomorrow. Domingo Santana. Molina on the first pitch. A line drive right to Yelich. Hard hit ball, but Molina is retired and the inning is over. Cardinals come out swinging. Dexter Fowler and Tommy Pham go deep and they lead 2-0. By Fowler and Pham, and the Cardinals are on the board early against Chase Anderson. Here we go to the bottom of the first. Craig Counsell putting out this lineup today, looking very similar to his lineup yesterday. Lineup is brought to you by Potawatomi. He's got Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich, and Ryan Braun at the top. Travis Shaw, Eric Thames, and Manny Pena in the middle, with Jonathan VR, Orlando Arcia, and the pitcher Chase Anderson rounding out the starting 9. That's the lineup. Rockdat will face Jack Flaherty, making his season debut, and he pitches in the spot that was vacated by Adam Wainwright, who is on the disabled list to start the year with a hamstring injury.
And the Brewers saw him. He started the last game of the season last year in St. Louis. He got roughed up by the Brewers. You see his season last year, 3 different levels of the organization for Flaherty. 6 games, 5 starts. He's 22 years old, 6'4", 225 pounds. He was a first-round draft choice by the Cardinals back in 2014.
6th start of his career, 7th appearance of his major league career as he misses inside to Lorenzo Cain. Kane homered yesterday, his first home run of the season. First home run in his second tour as a Milwaukee Brewer. Hit one in 2010 for the Brewers before he was traded that offseason to Kansas City. Signed by the team, came up with Milwaukee in 2010, traded away, and now he has returned home, signing a multi-year free agent contract. And glad to be here as well. 9 hits for Kane to begin the season.
Hitting the baseball with authority, pulling it quite a bit. We didn't see much of that in spring training. Good start for him.
1-2 the count in the dirt. 2-2 now on Kane.
They say that that slider for Flaherty is a plus pitch. It's a good pitch. He just threw one to Kane. 2 different fastballs, a 4-seamer, 2-seamer. He'll throw curveballs and changeups to lefties.
He was the Cardinals minor league pitcher of the year last year. Cardinals have a lot of talent, a lot of pitching talent in their minor league system. New pitching coach Mike Maddox in charge of all that talent. A couple of former Brewers there. Maddox, former Brewer pitching coach, and of course Matheny caught here in Milwaukee. 2-2 to Kane. Down he goes. A strikeout to start it for Jack Flaherty.
Well, let's check out the Cardinals as they line up defensively. Got the same outfield that they did yesterday here in Milwaukee. Ozuna, Pham, and Fowler. And the only real change defensively, Colton Wong gets the start at second base. He came in the game about the latter part of the game. Got Carpenter DeYoung on the left. Martinez joins Wong on the right side, and Yadier Molina behind home plate.
Christian Yelich takes a strike. With Ryan Braun in the lineup, it looks like this is going to be the consistent top 4 for Craig Counsell, with Kane leading off, Yelich, then Braun and Shaw. Now when Ryan Braun is not in the lineup, and he'll need more days off than the rest of the regulars, trying to keep that back in shape, his thumb injury as well. But when that happens, Counsell put Lorenzo Cain in the 3 spot in the batting order. Yelich is a guy who could hit leadoff as well. There's a lot of flexibility in this batting order, and every manager will tell you don't mess with what is working. And right now, these 2 guys at the top of the order, Cain and Yelich, are off to a great start in new uniforms.
Yeah, top of this Brewer order is about as good as any in baseball.
2 balls and a strike on Yelich. 3-1 now. Both Cain and Yelich bring a lot of plate discipline to the structure of the offense. That's why this offensive group feels so much different than it did last year.
Yeah, but both of them very good 2-strike hitters.
3-1. Hit hard but foul.
See, Flaherty not throwing all that hard, but he's a little bit sneaky fast. It was 91 that last fastball, but Yelich still behind it on a 3-1 count.
See what he gives him. 3-2, setting up inside, and Yelich a liner right to the shortstop, DeYoung. You know, Yelich coming into this game here with 7 hits, but he's probably hitting 3 or 4 line drive outs just like that.
Yeah,
I mean, his numbers could actually be a little better than the .389 batting average he has starting today's play. He's just in a really good place offensively.
Yeah, seeing the baseball well, hitting it where it's pitched. Uses, left field, left center very effectively.
Here's Ryan Braun now with 2 away. Ryan is off to a slow start, but he made his 1-hit count. Hit a go-ahead home run in the 9th inning in San Diego on Friday night, game 2 of the season. Brewers scored 5 runs in the 9th inning to come back to win that game, and Braun, with the theatrics late, took an 0-2 pitch and hit it out to left field off Brad Hand, the Padre closer. Part of a 5 RBI game for Ryan Braun last Friday, and those represent his numbers coming into play today. 1 home run, 5 RBIs.
Yeah, and just like Kane, he hit a lot of baseballs right on the nose in San Diego.
Braun now in his 12th season. Been a Rookie of the Year, an MVP. Not a guy that's going to play 150 games anymore. He's hoping to play in 135. That will tell him that he's had a healthy season. Ryan is approaching a career milestone as well. After that 5 RBI game on Friday, he is now 6 RBIs shy of 1,000 in his career. He's already surpassed the 300 home run plateau. Rewriting the Brewer record books. He is the all-time home run leader in franchise history. And down he goes. Flaherty strikes him out to end the inning. So the Cardinals score 2 in the top half. Flaherty retires him in order in the bottom half. From Bill Schroeder, what do you have tonight, partner?
Well, he's had such good success against the Cardinals. 2-0 last year. You know, in 9 starts at 272 earned run average. He has to control the bottom of this batting order. 7 through 9 yesterday, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. You got to be able to control those guys and continue the good 4-pitch mix that he had in San Diego. Had a bit of a difficult time with his fastball in the first inning.
Anderson facing Paul DeYoung to start the inning, falling behind 2-0. Dexter Fowler and Tommy Pham with back-to-back home runs to start the game. And I think that hit him. It did. DeYoung will reach, hit by a pitch. And a shaky start continues for Chase Anderson. It's already the 3rd base runner through the first 7 batters. 3 hits and a hit batter.
Well, you remember in the first inning, he was leaving fastballs out over the plate when he was trying to come inside. This time, comes in a little bit too far. Didn't want to make that same mistake and hit him.
So a man on. It's Colton Wong now. And Wong takes a strike. Wong is hitless on the young season, 0 for 7. Cardinals are still trying to figure out who their everyday players are going to be. Mike Matheny, very much like Craig Counsell, he's got a bit of a revolving door You know DeYoung's going to play short, but first, second, and third are all up for grabs. Some of that picture cleared up with the Jerko injury. He'll be down for a while, and the Cardinals brought up an outfielder. Did not replace Jerko, who has a hamstring injury and on the disabled list. They brought up an outfielder, so that'll open the door a little bit. Carpenter and Martinez.
Well, you know, Carpenter's going to play just a matter of where. Third base, second base, first base.
A swing and a miss, and Wong strikes out. Second K for Chase Anderson as he goes up the ladder.
And a lot of fastballs early in the game for Anderson. He got ahead of Wong and able to get him to chase. Only 91 miles an hour up in the strike zone. Effective against a lefty. They normally like it down in the zone.
One away with a runner at first. Now the pitcher is coming up. Jack Flaherty. Brewers got bit by a Cardinal pitcher yesterday. Miles Michaelis hit a 2-run home run, and that broke a 2-2 tie. Cardinals would go on to win the game yesterday, spoil the opener for the Brewers here at Miller Park. It was an 8-4 final. Michaelis got the win, his first start in the big leagues in 4 years after 3 seasons in Japan.
Yeah, 2-run home run in the 5th inning with 2 outs, and it gave the Cardinals a 2-run lead at the time. And really, Zach Davies really not able to correct himself after that. Really had a rough 6th inning.
Ball and a strike with the pitcher at the plate. 2-1. A lot of managers will have their pitcher bunt with 1 out, but not the case with Matheny, at least not yet, unless maybe he missed a sign, which is possible.
Jose Kendo, normally if a guy going to miss a sign like that, he'll just go down there and have a chat, say, look, you're going to bunt here. I think everybody knows you're going to bunt except you.
He's swinging away and had a healthy cut.
He's a big guy, just like Michaelis yesterday. Michaelis 6'5" and turned on a cutter from Chase Anderson, knocked it out of the ballpark. Got to be careful with these big guys. If you make a mistake, they can hit it a long way, even a pitcher.
Two and two with DeYoung at first. And he got him. Anderson with back-to-back strikeouts. 3 Ks already in the first 2 innings, and back to the top of the order in Dexter Fowler now. Fowler on that World Series winning team with the Cubs 2 years ago, then bolted Chicago in free agency, signed a multi-year deal with the Cardinals. Playing right field now. Tommy Pham has established himself as the everyday center fielder. Fowler in the first inning with his first home run of the season. 24th career leadoff home run for Dexter Fowler. Another changeup, and Anderson misses again. 2-0. Cardinals dropped 2 out of 3 in New York against the Mets, but they've won back-to-back games. They won the finale Sunday in New York, beat Steven Matz, and then winning yesterday in the Brewers home opener. Cardinals will open their home schedule Thursday against Arizona, and then the Brewers will be right in there on Monday. Rumor is that Adam Wainwright is making a strong argument to start that home opener for the Cardinals on Thursday. Took batting practice today. Looks like the hamstring is healed up quickly. Just a minor hamstring situation, and Adam Wainwright, you could make a strong case for that. Pitching in the home opener, no better Cardinal pitcher to do that.
He's got enough stock to be able to convince his manager to get that start.
He's been a great pitcher for a long time. Had some big moments in the postseason too. That's a shot, but the shift is on, and right there to make the play to end the inning. So Fowler hits a bullet, but he's out. Arcia on the 6-3 putout. We go to the bottom of the second.
For the Brewers, and just 4 games into the season, Travis Shaw has already made a little piece of franchise history. He is the first Brewer to double in each of the first 4 games, and Shaw, it's something he wants to build off of in what he did last year. It was a milestone year for him. 31 home runs, 101 RBIs, led the team in extra base hits, including 34 doubles, and he told me at spring training that 40 doubles is a number that he would love to hit this season. He says for him, it feels that he's in a good place approach-wise. He said you obviously can't go up there thinking homer. That's when you go up and get in trouble. But Craig Counsell said it shows that he's in a good place. Obviously, he's squaring up a lot of balls. And he said it was funny because he feels that Travis was complaining he wasn't getting any balls in the air. But then you look up and he's 4 doubles already on the season.
Yeah, of his 6 hits. Thank you, Sophia. And Shaw was a Cardinal killer last season. Shaw had 16 of his triple-digit RBI totals against St. Louis last year. Only Joey Votto had more. Votto had 17 home runs for the Reds against St. Louis, and Shaw, big run producer against a division rival.
He just has turned himself into a good hitter. I mean, a guy that, you know, the opposition has to be aware when he's coming up. And certainly a guy that in that number 4 spot is going to have some guys on base in front of him throughout the season.
Shaw has a very good eye. He'll get deep in a count. He will strike out on occasion, but will draw his walks. 101 RBIs last year. He led the club in ribbies, doubles, hits, extra base hits. Way out in front of a nasty breaking ball.
Yeah, this guy's got good breaking stuff tonight. He's throwing that slider, the curveball. We haven't seen any changeups yet. He'll throw a few of those to left-handers as the game goes on, but yeah, check this one out. That's a pretty good pitch. Ends up down the middle, but kind of tried to backdoor it to Travis, who was out in front of it.
Pitching like a guy that doesn't want to be taken out of the rotation when Adam Wainwright returns. Here's Eric Thames, takes a strike. Thames homered yesterday, his first home run of the season. He and Shaw tied for the club lead last year with 31 homers. Thames hit a long one out of here to right center field. He's been hitting the ball hard, and it's one of the reasons he's back in the lineup. making his 3rd consecutive start.
Yeah, hit the baseball on the nose just about every time up yesterday, 3 of the 4 times. Had some long fly ball outs in San Diego in the final game of that series. You can see the shift. Nobody even close to the left field line.
Yesterday, the Brewers with 3 homers. And Eric Thames, Powerball home run #1. Up in the Lowe's level in the bleachers. Big fly to right field. Thames down the gauntlet. That actually gave the Brewers a little life. He chases one this time. That breaking ball gets another one. And Jack Flaherty has struck out 4 of his first 5 batters faced. Hey, a reminder, if you're looking for the Milwaukee Bucks game, you can find it on the Fox Sports Wisconsin Plus channel. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com for all the channel listings, or as always, you can watch on the Fox Sports Go app. Giannis and the Bucks playing the Celtics tonight. Could be a postseason preview right there. 2 outs for Manny Pena. One of the 3 that homered yesterday. Pena hit the first home run of the Miller Park season with his clout to the opposite field yesterday.
Man, that's a good breaking pitch, isn't it? Maybe, throwing it for strikes and getting the Brewers to wave at it. We'll see what happens second time through the batting order. After the Brewers have seen him one time. So far, he's dominating that zone with everything.
Pena hits a bullet down into the left field corner. It goes, and the Brewer catcher on his way to second with a 2-out double. Tried to sneak the fastball by him, and Pena rips it down the line.
Yeah, a couple of pitches away, then he tried to sneak the fastball in on him. He was down though. You get that pitch up in the zone, a little bit different. Tough to get a bat on, but down and in, just dropped the head of the bat. He's able to keep it fair just past Matt Carpenter and down the line in the corner.
First hit of the game for the Brewers. And Pena getting it going now at the plate after his home run yesterday. He also caught 2 base runners trying to steal yesterday. What a career resurrection it has been for Manny Pena. Late bloomer at age 30. So that'll get VR to the plate here with 2 away. Jonathan trying to get going a little bit. He does have 3 hits. One of those a bunt single. One of those also a key 2-out hit in that 5-run rally in San Diego last Friday. Came up with a clutch hit in that instance. Does have an RBI on the year. And he hits that one sharply into center field. Pena is going to be waved home, and the throw comes in. It's easy for the Cardinals. Manny Pena cut down on a perfect throw from Tommy Pham. I think Ed Cedar was hoping he'd get a bad throw out of the Cardinal center fielder. He put it right on the button. And easy pickings at the plate. The inning ends at home. VR with a base hit. Brewers get 2 hits, nothing to show for it in the second. 2-0 Cardinals. We go to the 3rd. Reminder, you can guarantee your lower seats for the 2018 Bucks playoffs right now with the purchase of a playoff strip. Just visit foxsportswisconsin.com for details. And again, the Bucks are playing the Celtics on the Fox Plus channel. Check out the listings at foxsportswisconsin.com, or you can watch it as always on the Fox Sports Go app. Chase Anderson back to work, third inning, scoreless second inning. After hitting the first batter, he retired the next three in order with a couple of strikeouts. Chase has 3 Ks. He's given up 3 hits, and he's hit 1. Tommy Pham, who just threw out Manny Pena at the plate, leads off this third inning.
Yeah, Brewers being a very aggressive. Ed Cedar sending Manny Pena. He didn't really get a good jump off the bag, but scouting reports will tell you that sometimes Pham can be a little bit erratic with his throwing arm. He's got a good throwing arm, but not always on the money. So with 2 outs, they take the risk. But he gets thrown out by plenty.
Hitters count for Pham, who hit his first homer of the year in the first. And he lines that one down the left field line. That's going to get to the wall. Pham on his way to second, and it is a leadoff double here in the third. Chase Anderson getting hit hard early in this game.
He's trying to throw the fastball inside, but he's leaving it out over the plate, and that's one of the reasons why he did hit the young. You can see that pitch, not that bad. It's up and in. Apparently, Tommy Pham looking in there. You can see the way he pulls the hands in and barrels it up down the line and left. So when he does come inside, he's having a difficult time putting the baseball where he wants it, although that wasn't that bad a pitch.
Pham having a big night already. Big story broke today in Sports Illustrated about Tommy Pham, written by Jack Dickey, and Pham was extremely vocal about the Cardinals and him coming up through the minor league system. Had a fantastic year last year, but was very critical of the Cardinals for not believing in him earlier than last season. Fiery personality.
He did have injuries down in the minor leagues. That kind of short-circuited his ability to get to the major leagues a little bit sooner. It wasn't just the Cardinals believing in him. He was a 20-20 player last year. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases.
Matt Carpenter takes one inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carpenter back at third base today. Started at second yesterday. Carpenter flew out to center field his first time up. Leadoff double, and Pham as Carpenter fouls it away. A ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals are an interesting team this year. I think there's a lot of question marks surrounding the Cardinals. They have so much young talent. Figures to be a lineup that's going to hit. They're going to produce some numbers. Out in front, a swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Anderson.
That's a good changeup right there. Hadn't thrown too many. He's been trying to establish that fastball, particularly inside to both lefties and righties. But a terrific changeup to get Carpenter on strikes. There you see the grip, pulls a string on him, and Carpenter way out in front. Good spot for it too, down and away.
Pena always willing to throw behind runners, keep base runners honest. Pena picked off 6 last year, tied for the major league lead in that category. Ozuna fouls it away.
I talked to Manny before the game about his throwing. He says he's always had a very strong throwing arm, but sometimes he get a little bit lazy with his feet. That was the situation, that he was talking about when he was down in the minor leagues. So it's all about the quick feet. He works on that down in the bullpen before every game. Just getting his feet in position, and that's why not only does he have a strong throwing arm, but he's very accurate.
Well, and Pena knows he is going to be catching a lot this year, prepared for that this offseason. For a long time, he was considered at best a major league backup catcher. That's why when we say Pena's been a late bloomer, that's fairly common with catchers. Such a hard position to learn because you're not just learning the nuance of catching, you're also having to jump into the brain of all these individual pitchers, the scouting reports, which leaves your offense lagging at times. You know, you're not able to spend the kind of time on your offensive game because of all the time you're dedicated to the defensive part of it, the game planning side of catching. In the air, left center, and Ozuna with another Cardinal homer way back out of here. And the Cardinals have hit 3 home runs and have jumped out to a 4-0 lead already. Ozuna's first home run as a Cardinal. And no doubt about that one.
Well, success against Chase Anderson for Ozuna continues. Now 7 for 16. And there you see it, fastball literally right down the middle of the plate, 92 miles an hour, and no doubter.
Ozuna won the Silver Slugger Award last year, along with winning the Gold Glove Award with the Marlins. 37 homers last season, drove in 124 runs with the Miami Marlins last season. His first Cardinal homer, and left little doubt that was going to fly out of here. Bases empty, 1 away with Martinez up there, a liner into center, and Kane cannot get there. Jose Martinez is 2 for 2. And Chase Anderson is searching for answers on the mound.
And because of that, here comes Derek Johnson to try to maybe straighten things out for him a little bit. All about location.
Seems like his velocity is down as well. Chase not pitching in the mid-90s, more like the lower 90s.
And 91, 92. And when your velocity is down a little bit, you better have good location, and he has not had that so far.
Best fastball he's thrown has been 92 miles an hour. That curveball is the 75-mile-an-hour pitch. That's the pitch that was working so well for him in San Diego. 6 shutout innings in his first start of the year. It's been a rough go early. Just 1 out in the 3rd. The Cardinals have 4 on the board on 3 homers.
Yeah, when you rely a lot on that curveball changeup combination, he'll throw some cutters. It's very important to pitch inside, and you can see that Chase is trying to do that. He just can't find the inside corners, either missing in off the plate or leaving it out over the plate. And the Cardinals are hitting him hard.
1 away for Yadier Molina. Derek Johnson has his say. And Molina takes a ball. Molina hit one sharply to end the first inning. Hit it right at Yelich in right center. There's a strike. Last year, Molina led the National League in games played for catchers. 133 games. He led the NL in games and innings caught last season. And it begs the question, when will he ever slow down? He's kept himself in great shape.
I think the league's hoping he slows down quickly.
He is headed to the Hall of Fame when he retires.
Take some days off.
35 years of age. He led the league last year in games, but he played 11 fewer games than he did the season prior to that. Always been a workhorse. To be the backup catcher with the Cardinals is quite the existence.
Yeah. You don't get a whole lot of playing time, but the checks keep coming.
He broke in 2004 at age 21, replacing the man that is now his manager, Mike Matheny.
You remember the backup catcher to Johnny Bench all those years?
I do not.
It was Bill Plummer. I remember that, but he didn't get a whole lot of playing time either, so I guess you can compare the two. I mean, with this young pitching staff, I mean, the starting rotation that these Cardinal team has, and you have Carlos Martinez, who Yadier Molina kind of controls him throughout the game. You don't figure he's going to get too many days off.
It's like having a second pitching coach out there. Francisco Pena is the Cardinals backup catcher. In case you're wondering, that's caught by Arcia. Back to first, Martinez. Orlando Arcia climbs the ladder. Yadier Molina's 0 for 2 with a couple of line drive outs. Second out of the inning.
Got that one down on the end of the bat. Change up. Didn't hit it all that hard, but Arcia able to time his leap perfectly and pull it in.
2 gone, and here is Paul DeYoung, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Trying to think about some workhorse catchers that we've come across. Jason Kendall comes to mind. Jonathan Lucroy. Both caught a lot. Lucroy kind of learned that from Kendall, at least as he was coming up through the minor leagues when Kendall was the big league catcher in Milwaukee. There's a pop up. This will get Chase out of the inning. Foul territory. And Thames has it to end the inning. But Marcell Ozuna with his first Cardinal homer makes it 4-0 Redbirds as we go to the home third. Are coming to bat. Well, built for baseball, presented by T-Mobile. It's the best network for streaming baseball because your stadium should be where you make it. Welcome all of those watching in on the MLB TV app here tonight. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard, Miller Park, Milwaukee, and the Brewers find themselves trailing 4-0 after losing their home opener yesterday to the Cardinals. Orlando Arcia will lead off, and then the pitcher Chase Anderson, then to the top of the order Lorenzo Cain. Brewers had a runner thrown out at the plate to end the last inning. Pena was cut down by Tommy Pham. First 2 hits of the game coming last inning for the Brewers, and there's a called strike 3. Flaherty racks up strikeout number 5.
Yeah, that's a nasty breaking pitch he's got going. Curveball slider combination. That's a slider right there, right on the outside corner at the knees. Watch Molina. Watch the way he catches it. He catches a lot of close pitches, gets called for strikes.
So Chase Anderson now with one away.
It's amazing the reputation of a catcher like that. I mean, it has a lot to do sometimes with the umpire giving you a call. He knows he's going to make him look good. Not a lot of movement behind home plate. He does very still. Just moves the glove, the way he positions and massages, the way he catches the baseball.
Now Flaherty making quick work of Anderson. 6 strikeouts now. First 9 batters he faces. He has 6 Ks.
Hey, opening week continues as the Brewers and Cardinals close out their series here at Miller Park tomorrow night at 6:40. Then the rival Cubs come to town for a crucial 4-game showdown. That's Thursday through Sunday. Get your tickets at brewers.com/tickets. The Cubbies coming in.
4-game series against the Cubs starting Thursday. Cubs off to a very slow start this year, winless. Pirates are off to a 4-0 start in the Central Division. Brewers at 3-1. Cubs are striking out a lot. An alarming number of strikeouts through their first 4 games. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Kane fouls it away, and it's quickly 1-2. Flaherty continues to pump the strikes in there.
Remember last year the Cubs got off to a very slow start with the bats. Came around the All-Star break. They hung around.
Yeah, the Brewers led the Cubs by 5.5 games in the Central Division at the All-Star break. Brewers would love the same kind of start in the first half this year, hoping for a different finish. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kane stays alive. Cubs and Reds were postponed tonight, by the way. Racking up the postponements early in the schedule. The weather's just been brutal. Thank goodness for this roof here at Miller Park.
Yeah, no chance we'd play tonight, right?
The gift that keeps on giving. Both the Yankees and the Mets, who were postponed yesterday, were able to play today. Yankees actually beat the Rays earlier today, and the Mets are underway with the Phillies. So glad they're playing ball again. You don't want to stack up too many rainouts and postponements.
Double headers, lose off days. Yeah.
3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4.
There's a nice battle for Lorenzo Cain. He fell behind quickly. It was a 1-2 count at one point, but Cain would not bite. Flaherty working the edges of the strike zone.
So Christian Yelich will get an at-bat. Brewers now with 3 base runners on the game, 2 hits, and a walk by Cain. Yelich hit the ball sharply his last time up, lined out to the shortstop.
Let's see what adjustments this Brewers lineup makes second time through the batting order.
Jack Flaherty in the rotation for the injured Wainwright, trying to make the most of his start today. Might be his lone start, with Wainwright set to return soon, maybe as early as Thursday. Flaherty last year making his major league debut at age 21, one of the youngest Cardinal pitchers to make his major league debut. He became the youngest since Rick Ankiel rocked last year. Ankiel, hard to believe it's been 1999 since his debut at age 20.
How about that?
Against the Montreal Expos, Rick Ankiel. Two-way player. Pitcher turned hitter. Actually made it back to the big leagues as an outfielder. The rare combo. Cardinals had one of the more famous pitcher turned hitters of all time, Stan Musial. Babe Ruth was a pitcher turned hitter. He's pretty famous.
Yeah.
Two and one to Yelich. Right down the heart. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ohtani over in the American League with the Angels.
He's trying to be pitcher and hitter.
Right.
Yeah, no turn in that part of it. Ohtani pitched well.
Yeah.
In his first game as an Angel. We saw 2 of the big stories coming out of Japan yesterday, with Ohtani with the Angels and Miles Michaelis pitching for the Cardinals. I think Miles Michaelis would be the first to tell you that all of those eyes that were on Ohtani over the last couple of years certainly brought a lot of attention to his
helped him.
pitching in Japan.
Helped him get back.
2 and 2 to Yelich. And he goes down swinging, and another strikeout for Flaherty. That's number 7. Brewers haven't been striking out much, but that is not the case tonight so far. Throwing arm.
Well, the average pop time catcher to infielder down on the stolen base about 2 seconds. See Manny with the very quick feet. It's all about the quick feet. You can see it right there, right on the money, right over the top. And not too many better or quicker than Manny Pena. It's not just the quickness and accuracy. Catcher's mitt to the glove in the middle of the infielder, trying to make the tag, and Manny Pena right up there, 3rd last year on stolen base attempts. Good work for Manny Pena, and it's all about the footwork.
Good numbers from StatCast helping us out. Pop time, they call it, meaning the pop of the catcher's mitt to the pop of the infielder who catches the throw. So pop to pop, which has been shortened to pop time all these years.
And a lot of guys will might have a good pop time, 1.8, 1.9, but not have the accuracy. Manny and those other guys had both.
So then it becomes a little bit of a math game as well. So the pitcher trying to hold runners on, if you can keep it around 1-3, 1-2, something like that, with a guy like Manny Pena, you're going to throw out a lot of base runners. Wong pops this one up. That's going to end up in the seats. And a ball and 2 strikes.
And base stealers know how long it's going to take them to get from their lead to touching second base. So it is about math. I mean, you know how long a pitcher takes to get rid of the baseball. That's why you see A lot of guys with the slide step, they'll try and switch it up a little bit, catch the base runner off guard, and sometimes you fool the hitter as well when you go that slide step. You'd be a little bit quicker to home plate.
Yeah, if you're a pitcher who takes a second and a half to deliver it to the plate, it doesn't matter who's catching. They've got no chance. There's a good changeup by Chase Anderson. Strikes out Wong. Sophia's got more on the Manny Pena evolution behind the plate. What do you have, Soph?
Well, Craig Counsell spoke about that equation you guys were talking about, the pitcher's time, the catcher's time as well. The catcher being under 2 seconds, which Manny Pena, we talked about, you guys just mentioned, one of the quickest times in all the big leagues. And Counsell said he really proved that he was one of the better throwers in the game with regular playing time last season, and he already has 3 caught stealings on the season. Counsell said yesterday he had good pitches to throw on, which matters, but he said he also had the opportunity to convert them, and he said that's what the good catchers in the game do. He said sometimes bottom line you don't get that chance, and he said really a credit goes to the pitchers as well. They've made some small improvements in terms of holding runners, and he said those small improvements can make a big difference, especially when you have a catcher like Manny Pena.
And again, I mean, sometimes when a pitcher gives up a big jump, the catcher's going to be trying to be a little bit too quick, and that's when you end up throwing a ball into center field. So you're pretty consistent with your release point, you know, how quickly you get the ball out of your glove. When you try and rush that, then nothing really good happens. So pitchers do have a lot to do with how many guys you throw out. And it's really in their best interest, right, to hold runners well, get rid of the baseball as quickly as they can.
Two the count on the pitcher Flaherty, and a ground ball to third. Travis Shaw across the diamond for out number 2.
Well, we talked about our keys to success tonight for Chase Anderson. Control the bottom of the order. He's done that. Unfortunately, has had a difficult time with the top of the Cardinals order tonight.
Starting with back-to-back home runs to start the game by Fowler and Pham. Ozuna hit the other homer. All 4 of the runs on the board courtesy of the long ball by St. Louis. Cardinals hit 2 homers yesterday. The pitcher Michaelis and DeYoung. Fowler into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Fowler thinking about 2, and he is going to hold up.
And maybe one day a while ago he might have thought about it, but not as fast as he used to be. Right off the end of the bat, and Fowler's got a couple of hits. Change up right off the end of the bat, but he kept that bat in the hitting zone long enough to get a piece of it, and he thought about 2. Anytime you can try and get yourself in scoring position, 2 outs and nobody on, you take the risk, but he wouldn't have made it then.
2 outs for Tommy Pham now. Pham is 2 for 2. He's got a home run and a double. Scored twice. First home run of the season. First RBI as well. I was referencing that Sports Illustrated article on Tommy Pham. Pham had a quote in that article that at one point he actually asked the Cardinals for his release. He felt like they were bringing in outfielders. He was getting overlooked. As Rock mentioned, had an oblique injury one year in 2016. That set him back, but when he got healthy again, he stayed in the minor leagues. He was so frustrated about the path that was blocked for him. But he cut loose last year, had a big year for St. Louis, and I think he felt like there was a little vindication. He was asked about the article. He said, I wished I wouldn't have used the kind of language, because it was some pretty harsh language,
Yeah,
but I still stand by the sentiment.
I was going to say better late than never. I mean, the Cardinals gave him an opportunity, took advantage of it. Sometimes it is amazing after a guy has, you know, a single good year, right? I mean, very free to speak their mind these days.
23 home runs last year, drove in 73, and hit for a high average. Hit for an average that most didn't expect Tommy Pham to produce. He hit 306 last season. OPS of 931 last year.
Combination of power and speed. 2020 season.
Yeah, the 23 home runs to go along with 25 steals. And he's going to shove one into right field for a base hit. Fowler turns on his way to third. Snap throw to first. Wow, almost thrown away by Arcia. They had a chance for a moment with a good throw. Pham is 3 for 3. Top of the order for the Cardinals is 5 for 6.
Talk about pop time, huh? Did you hear the pop of the glove for Thames after Arcia uncorked that throw? That's a good piece of hitting. That was a cutter from Chase Anderson, and you hear that all the way from up here?
Yeah. Gunned one over. Unfortunate it didn't end up in the dugout.
Amazing arm strength.
Well, Anderson retired the first 2 batters. Now he is in trouble. First and third with Matt Carpenter coming up. Brewers can't ill afford to go down any more at this point.
He's having a difficult time with that fastball inside. That's such a good pitch for him. It was all last year.
2-0 to Carpenter now. Well, Anderson is not himself tonight. He is wrestling the bear on the mound at Miller Park tonight. Does have 5 strikeouts, but down 4-0. Pham takes off. Pena throws. A late throw, maybe trying to get Fowler to break. He did not. And it's a steal for Pham, and it's second and third now for the Cardinals.
Well, Pena looks him back to make sure that, Fowler wasn't going to get a big jump off of third base. Looks him back. Fowler wasn't coming, then he threw. Not an easy thing to do. You can see him check him really quickly before he throws to second base.
Second stolen base for Pham. And the Cardinals with 2 in scoring position as Carpenter takes a strike. Carpenter's got some thumb behind him in the lineup this year with Marcell Ozuna. That is a big bat that the Cardinals were able to acquire from the Marlins. 2-run home run last time up for Ozuna. Strike 2. Three-one changeup. Good one too.
Yep, right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Big pitch for Anderson here. We're only in the 4th inning, but he needs it. Second and third, 2 outs. Carpenter rolls over 1 foul.
Took a little bit off, had him out in front, just got a piece of it.
'81 pitches already for Chase Anderson. Full count, 2 away. Carpenter rolls over 1. Shift is on. That's VR in the grass with the strong arm to make the play to win the inning. It's a big out for Chase Anderson. Let's see if the Brewer Bats can get it going now. They trail 4-0. reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. Chase Anderson with 5 strikeouts, but just got out of a jam with 2 on and 2 out, getting Matt Carpenter. Keeps the Brewers in shouting distance. A lot of baseball to be played tonight. 4-0 Redbirds as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Here's Ryan Braun jumping on the first pitch. He fouls it away. Jack Flaherty has been impressive. He's only given up 1 walk, struck out 7 at this point in the first 3 innings. Gave up back-to-back hits to the Brewers in the second. The second hit resulted in a putout at home plate. Tommy Pham threw out Manny Pena trying to score.
Yeah, that walk to Kane was only the 2nd walk issued by Cardinal pitching in the first 2 games of this series. They've been throwing a lot of strikes, these guys.
Flaherty, one of the top prospects in baseball, certainly in the Cardinal system. Minor league pitcher of the year last season. He led Cardinal minor league pitchers last year in ERA and strikeouts, had a 2.18 earned run average. A 14-game winner in the minor leagues last year. It's tough to win double digits in a minor league season. First, the minor league season is only 140 games. And then starting pitchers usually don't get the benefit to hang around much more than 5 innings.
Yeah, pitch counts get them just about every time, right?
Braun leans out, serves one into left center, a base hit. Picked it right off the ground, and Ryan Braun starts the 4th with a single.
Boy, nobody has better plate coverage than Ryan Braun. I mean, that pitch off the plate, you can see it right at his lips. That was a good pitch, a slider down and away, and he goes down and gets it, hooks it into left field. He covers that 17 inches about as well as anybody.
Strong hands, forearms, allows him to use a huge bat. And Braun gives the Brewers some hope here in the 4th. A man on for Travis Shaw. Shaw was a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. Flaherty has a career high already for strikeouts in a major league game. He has 7.
Looks a lot different than the last time the Brewers saw him. Much better command, much better poise out there in the mound. The Brewers roughed him up.
Shaw, a little flare foul.
Roughed him up last game of the season last year.
Brewers got him for 4 earned runs in 5 innings last season, making that start on October 1st in a 6-1 Brewer win to finish the year. That was only his 5th career major league start. This is number 6. October 1st of 17, game 162 last season. Brewers were officially eliminated the day before that. And then they came back and won the finale. There's a strike. Shaw with Braun at first. Brewers cleanup hitter. Who had a good cut, but he fouls it back. Count stays at 2-2.
And Flaherty left that one out over the plate just a little bit. I think Travis would like to see that one again.
Able to lay off the breaking ball this time. That was the pitch that struck him out his first time up in the 2nd inning. Perhaps the Brewers are filing some of these good sliders away. Starting to recognize him a little bit better. Full count to Shaw. And down he goes. Back to the well goes Flaherty, and he strikes out Shaw. Number 8 for Flaherty.
Yeah, right back to the slider. This time got one right down the middle of the plate. Right down the middle, but it was the speed that gets Travis Shaw this time.
Yeah, it's not that hard slider. It's got a little change of pace to it.
Kind of has some deception in his delivery. I think you know, the Brewer hitters will tell you that they're not picking it up. Because you're right, some of these sliders look like they're breaking early.
That was at 77 miles an hour. The pitch that struck out Shaw was at 82 miles an hour. Not just the break, but the change of pace. He is making it work here tonight.
Well, he does have the curveball to go with the slider. And he will throw the curveball to left-handed batters a lot more than he will against right-handers.
Anything to disrupt a hitter's timing. Flaherty's been able to do it. And he's got to be a fun guy to catch, too. I mean, you watch Molina behind the plate when he's going down to a knee, spreading the one leg out. You can't do that if a pitcher is having command issues. Seems like he knows he's going to be around the plate. Thames, a little ground ball, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Eric.
Don't see a whole lot of shaking off with Flaherty out there. Now you're not going to shake off Molina too much.
Brewers have just 3 hits, 2 singles and a double. They need a quick strike here. Down 4-0 early. Thames hit a 2-run home run yesterday. Half swing. Martinez goes to second, out there. Thames legs it out to keep the inning alive, but the second out of the inning wipes Braun off the base paths.
Another breaking ball, and Thames tried to hold up, but make contact. Well, a lot of breaking pitches, huh? I mean, Molina sees that he's got a good one today, and he's throwing a lot of them. Behind in the count, full counts.
The fact that he doubled up on Travis Shaw gives you a good idea of the confidence he has in that breaking ball, especially after the first one looked like Shaw had a pretty good cut.
Well,
and then he laid off, took a tough slider, but he came right back to it, got the strikeout. Well, Manny Pena doubled in the second inning, had the first Brewer hit. That's been his bread and butter tonight. Just threading the needle on the edge of the strike zone with that breaking ball.
And throwing just enough fastballs to keep the Brewer hitters honest. Fastballs in, sliders outer half and off the plate.
1 ball, 1 strike. Thames over at first. Didn't miss by much.
Tried to sneak a fastball by Pena his first time up, and he whistled it down the left field line.
Tied him up. 2-2 now.
It took a little off, had a little extra movement on it, coming in off the plate. Manny asking the home plate umpire, Jeff Keller, was that a strike?
Boy, late request of time. Not sure if that was Pena or Molina. No pitch. Usually an umpire will point to the guilty party.
That had to be Manny.
I think he's protecting the innocent here. 2-2 with Thames at first. And Pena into right field. Backing up on it is Fowler with room. He's got it to end the inning. Just missed it on the bat, did Pena. And the side is retired, and Flaherty has 4 shutout innings on the board.
Checking out our crew in the community now, the Brewers' wives play an important role in the club's community outreach efforts through their commitment to several important causes. Each summer, the Brewers' wives team up with Brewers Community Foundation to raise funds through a number of special events, with proceeds earmarked for various organizations in Greater Milwaukee. So a salute to the Brewers' wives for all they do all season long.
All right, Sophia, thanks. We certainly echo that sentiment. New pitcher rocked, so Craig Counsell is going to go to his bullpen early tonight. Chase Anderson just didn't have it, giving up 4 runs in 4 innings. And Jeremy Jeffress out of the Brewer pen.
Opening day, he got the win in San Diego. Remember, he had bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 11th inning, got out of it. And the Brewers are going to win the game in the 12th inning on opening day in San Diego.
Jeffress pitched 2 innings that game. Facing Marcell Ozuna, hit a long 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. Measured at 479 feet. Got him off the end of the bat, and a fly ball to Yelich. Out number 1.
I talked to Yelich before the game about right field. Never had made a start in right field, and says a little bit different, but really no problem. I mean, if you're a good outfielder, you can play anywhere, right?
And he is a good outfielder, of Gold Glove award-winning outfielder, as a matter of fact.
Angle's a little bit different. That takes getting used to, but really no problem for him.
Now, Ryan Braun played a few years of right field. Why do you think Braun wouldn't go back to right when Yelich is in the outfield? Is it a comfort thing with him?
I think it.
They've asked a lot to play first, maybe.
Yeah, I think that Ryan. I think Ryan's a little bit more comfortable in left field these days. And
he's always said he prefers the left side of the diamond, whether it be a shortstop, as he was as an amateur, third baseman, which is what he was coming up to the big leagues, left field. He was very happy to move to left field a few years back. after the Brewers traded Chris Davis to Oakland.
Yeah, when Ryan plays first, then you have Yelich in left. You got Santana in right. A lot of moving around for Christian Yelich.
On the ground, that's going to get through. And Jose Martinez continues his hot hitting. It's his 3rd hit of the day, all singles.
Yeah, he and Tommy Pham both 3 for 3.
9th hit for the Cardinals today.
And Jeremy with the two-seam fastball up, and Martinez showing a good ability to be able to center on it, roll it into center field. They had Arcia shaded in the hole a bit, not able to get there.
Brings up Yadier Molina with Martinez at first. Molina has lined out twice, hit the ball sharply on both occasions. Jeffrey's spot in the batting order is due up 3rd in the 5th inning. It's unlikely that he will have a multi-inning outing today. Counsell probably will go one at a time unless his team can get back in it.
Yeah, if they wanted Jeremy to go multiple innings, they would have had a double switch. Did not do that.
One ball, one strike on Molina. On the ground, right to Shaw. Got a chance to turn it. It goes 5, 4, 3, and a double play. VR knew he had Molina running. A little double clutch. Still plenty of time to get him. And Jeffries gets the double play ball to end the inning. And we head to the bottom of the 5th. Brewers down 4-0.
Time now for our UW Whitewater scouting report. New season, new prospect list, but a very familiar face in Lucas Erceg, number 4 prospect for the Brewers. Last year, a great season for him. Finished the season in AAA with the Colorado Springs, a .259 average for him, 15 home runs, and 35 doubles. Drafted in 2016, 46th overall. Had a great year in the Carolina League as well, and he will start the season in AA with the Biloxi Shuckers. That'll be a really fun team to watch. A number of the top prospects starting in AA this year.
Yeah, I had some injuries this spring that we didn't get to see him as much as we'd like in the spring, but he is a real talent. Lucas Erceg. Be fun to watch his progress this year.
Yeah, he's got a nice swing from the left side of the plate. Keston Hira, you saw him in spring training. Right-handed hitter, he can rake as well.
Jonathan VR will lead off for the Brewers. In the air to left field, turning and running Ozuna. and runs right to the spot to make the catch. A Gold Glover from a year ago, Ozuna. Perfectly played, and VR is retired. Jack Flaherty is impressing here tonight. Probably had a sense this could be a one and done for him with Wainwright set to come off, but you never know. You pitch well enough to make a tough decision on the Cardinals. Arcia, big swing and a miss. 8 strikeouts for Flaherty. Every strikeout he posts is a new career best. On the ground up the middle, ranging over DeYoung from his knees and safe at first. Arcia just beats it. Cardinals will certainly have a look at this.
Pretty good effort up the middle from his knees, able to throw pretty accurately to first base. A good pick by Martinez, and I think that the Cardinals are satisfied that the right call's made. From his knees, pretty strong throw, but Arcia able to beat it at first base.
Yeah, clearly safe. Good call by the first base umpire, Chris Segal. And Arcia has an infield hit. And now Domingo Santana will bat. Pinch hitting in the 5th inning. Santana out of the starting lineup the last 2 games. And he whistles one into left center. That's down, a base hit. Arcia will hold his ground, and the Brewers with back-to-back hits. 2 on with 1 out. First pitch he sees, Santana with a hit.
Boy, quick hands, able to get that fastball that was up and in. Well, a couple of men on with the top of the order coming up. That's a nice quick stroke. He's got quick hands on the inside corner and able to hit it hard into left. First real rally for the Brewers here today.
Top of the order, Lorenzo Cain. Mike Maddox, the Cardinal pitching coach, is on his way out.
Activity just began in that Cardinals bullpen. There was nothing going on until that second hit.
The sheriff is in town. Multiple left-handers for the Cardinals. We saw Tyler Lyons yesterday.
2 left-handers, 6 right-handers for the Cardinals in the bullpen. They've got 8.
In the meantime, Flaherty will face Cain. You figure Ryan Sheriff is preparing for Christian Yelich, who is due next. Crowd has something to cheer about. Hasn't been much going on offensively for the Brewers. Down 4-0. One swing of the bat could change this game quickly. Cain with a strikeout and a walk. Getting on base at a .524 clip through his first 5 games of the season. Able to lay off that breaking ball. (2-0). Cain is now in his age 32 season and signed a 5-year deal with the Brewers. That'll take him to age 37. It was an $80 million contract. Signed it in late January. Big year last year with the Royals. And he's picked up right where he left off last season.
Yeah, right back to the slider on a 2-0 count.
Last year there were 3 players who hit over 300, better than 15 homers, and more than 25 steals. 2 of them are in this series. Lorenzo Cain and Tommy Pham. The third was the MVP of the American League, Jose Altuve. 2-2 now. Jack Flaherty could be his last hitter if Kane delivers here. Bullpen is ready. 2-2 the count. 2 on. And a strike called on the outside corner. Kane didn't like it. Flaherty rings the bell, and it is out number 2 on his 9th strikeout of the game.
Well, you talk about threading the needle in that outside corner. Here it is. Boy, borderline on the edge. And he gets the call to get Kane second out. That's a big call right there for Jack Flaherty.
And that'll allow him to continue here with Yelich coming up. It stops Ryan Sheriff from throwing in the bullpen. I feel like a lot of times you get calls like that when you've been around the plate most of the game, as Flaherty has been tonight.
Well, and he has. I mean, I think a little bit of it has to do with the way Molina catches those pitches. I mean, he could steal some strikes. I mean, borderline strikes. He's not trying to, drag pitches, 2-3 inches off the corner into the strike zone. I mean, those borderline pitches, the way you catch them has a lot to do with the call you get.
Yelich still looking for his first Brewer homer. 0 for 2 tonight. 2 on. The 2-0 pitch is in there, a strike. Went back to the breaking ball in a hitter's count. Brewers desperate for a big hit. Bottom of the 5th, down 4-0. Ryan Braun due next. Yelich trying to get him to the plate this inning. Yelich smokes it, and it's off the glove of DeYoung. Coming in to score is Arcia. Santana to third. Christian Yelich with an RBI single. And it's 4-1 St. Louis.
And the second time he's gone in that direction. First time up. Line drive right at DeYoung. This time off the glove. So the Brewers have the skunk out of the box here in the 5th inning. Fastball away right on the corner. Goes right with it. And the Brewers on the board. There you go.
1st and 3rd now with Braun coming up. Christian Yelich with RBI number 4 in game number 5. And here is Braun representing the tying run. Braun singled his last time up. Picked a breaking ball right off the dirt. Dumped it into left center. Hits it hard right at Carpenter, who goes right to second base to end the inning. And the Brewers are done in the 5th, but they get a run on a Yelich RBI single. 4-1 St. Louis. that we are back tomorrow, but on FS1. Cardinals, Brewers, 6 p.m. FS1. You can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. National game tomorrow night from Miller Park. Brewers will have Jacob Barnes coming out of the bullpen. Jeremy Jeffress works a scoreless inning, gives up a hit, gets a double play ball. And now Barnes will have the 6th.
Yeah, Barnes has been very good in his first 2 appearances this year. Has not allowed a run. The strikeout total's up. He struck out the side in his last appearance. That was on Saturday against the Padres. And he did pick up a save.
That save came in the opener on Thursday against San Diego. He's been impressive, and a guy who didn't have a great spring. He was really fighting his command in Arizona, but he has hit the ground running here in the regular season. Paul DeJong starts it for St. Louis. Bottom of their order is coming up. DeJong, Wong, and then the pitcher spot. Put it right by him. 97 with a fastball.
And 97, but the key to his success obviously is that cut fastball, and he threw a good one. First 2 appearances against the Padres, the cutter was exceptional. Throwing it for strikes when he needed to, and out of the zone when he was ahead in the count.
Jam shot out to Arcia, covering that hole, and he guns one across the infield for out number 1.
Do you think Arcia's ever come to the ballpark with a sore arm? I mean, every day you watch this guy throw, and it's just 100%.
Oily. He's an oily player.
I mean, every now and again you come to the park, your arm's hanging a little bit, right?
It doesn't seem like it with him. Have you ever seen him throw the underhand,
Yeah.
the little flip, softball-looking delivery? It is incredible how hard he can throw the ball doing that. Little tapper over to Thames. Nice and easy for him. 2 quick outs for Jacob Barnes. Oh, and the Cardinals are going to go to the bench, and the man who just arrived from the minor leagues, Harrison Bader, took the roster spot of Jed Jerko, who is on the DL now with a hamstring injury. And Harrison Bader, a former Lakeshore Chinook, will get an at-bat here at Miller Park. Played his college ball at Florida, Florida Gator. Cardinals swap an infielder for an outfielder on their position transaction, with Jerko going to the DL. Bader is a center fielder by trade, but will play all 3 outfield spots. Coming out of the 2015 draft. After a stellar SEC career at Florida.
Doesn't take him long to get to the big leagues these days, does it? Had 85 at bats with the Cardinals last year.
I was talking to Ray Montgomery, Brewers scout, before the game, and he was telling me a story. He was on the amateur side of things getting a report on Bader, hardly recruited out of high school by the major Division I colleges. So if you're a player like that and you're not getting the kind of interest you think would be a path to the big leagues, I can promise you major league players come from all over. Big schools, small schools, no school. Right.
All shapes and sizes.
Everybody develops at their own level. Once Bader got to college, he flourished. High fly ball into right. And Jacob Barnes with another tidy inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals. 4-1 St. Louis. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th, and the Brewers are coming up.
matchup against the Marlins will take home a Barrelman long sleeve t-shirt courtesy of Chevrolet. Learn more at brewers.com/tickets.
Strong start for the t-shirt game, Rock.
Yeah, good looking. I like the Barrelman logo.
I'm a fan of Barrelman. It's starting to look like what I'm going to look like in a few years. So he's now my
Little wide.
yeah. Not body shaming him. Waistline's expanding. Ryan Sheriff, who was warming up last inning, will take over. He'll face Travis Shaw to start the bottom of the 6th. And Jack Flaherty, very impressive here today. Goes 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, a career best. Only walked 1 batter, gave up 1 earned run.
Man, Sheriff got called up when Brett Cecil was placed on a disabled list with a left shoulder strain. He got called up on March 31st. 2 lefties in the pen, St. Louis.
Shaw, Thames, and Pena. Cardinals got 2 in the first on back-to-back homers from their first 2 hitters, Fowler and Pham. And then Marcell Ozuna hit a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. Shaw rolls over 1 out to second base. And there's out number 1.
And this guy very effective against left-handed batters a year ago.
And he'll face a second lefty in Eric Thames. He's on the Powerball home run leaderboard. It's early. Those who have posted. Bronze was a game winner in San Diego. Kane, Pena, and Thames all went deep yesterday in the home opener.
Eric got to face a left-hander Lions yesterday and got a base hit. Getting another opportunity tonight.
This could be Sheriff's last hitter. Cardinals do have a right-hand reliever ready in the bullpen. If Thames reaches, it'll almost certainly be his last hitter. The Brewers are in the middle of a stretch now against Central Division opponents for 10 straight days. Cardinals, Cubs, Cardinals. That Cubs series starts Thursday. It'll be a 4-game set. And then on the road to St. Louis. Thames, high fly ball to left, playable for Ozuna. 2 outs. And we'll see if Matheny will let Sheriff ride with 2 outs and nobody on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has any interest in going out and get him. You're right, though. I think if Thames reached, he would have made the move.
Cardinals have Matt Bowman ready in the pen. He stopped throwing for now. So Sheriff against Pena. Most managers, if you're looking ahead a little bit, most managers would rather Jonathan Villar hit right-handed. He's a switch hitter and they'd prefer to turn him around. Even if Pena reaches, it's probably the matchup Matheny wants. The Brewers are still carrying 5 on their bench. Already used Santana. And a called strike 3. Pena is rung up and Sheriff puts the Brewers away in order in the 6th inning. Quiet night offensively thus far. 4-1 St. Louis. Here tonight, first pitch of the game, Dexter Fowler turned into a run. And then the next man up, Tommy Pham, went deep. Back-to-back home runs before most had gotten to their seats here at Miller Park. Marcell Ozuna then a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. And that put the Cardinals at 4-0. The Brewers would come up with a run, their lone run, on a Christian Yelich RBI single in the 5th. Scoring Arcia, and that's where we stand. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Redbirds. The Brew Crew with a run on 6 hits, no errors. Each team has left 5. Jacob Barnes is back out there to start his 2nd inning, and he'll face the top of the order. Fowler takes ball 1. Fowler has made some waves on Twitter here the last few days because he started his season 0 for 14 at the plate, and he had some motivational speaking to himself on Twitter. 13 times he says, "I will get a hit, comma, I will get a hit, I will get a hit." Worked, and it has worked ever since he did that. Fowler yesterday got his first hit in his 2nd at bat. He ended up 1 for 5, and he has 2 hits here tonight with a home run. He has been an on-base machine, has Dexter Fowler. 364 on-base percentage going back to the 2009 season. Broke his bat here. Arcia's got to hurry. Shovels it in time to get Fowler for the out.
Man, another good pitch by Barnes. Cutter right in on his fist. Boy, he's looked good out there in the mound. Jacob Barnes. Goes to show you what spring training means to some guys, right? I mean, back-to-back years. I mean, it wasn't a real impressive spring for him. Remember last year he came out of the gates really strong, and doing the same here this year.
Counsell trying to get 2 innings out of him, knowing that a comeback is only possible when you stop the opponents offensively. Not just for the obvious, the runs that are on the board, keeping the deficit at 3 in this case. But there's also a little momentum with a pitcher who is shutting down the opposition. Cardinals scored 4 runs in the first 3 innings, and they have not been able to scratch one against the Brewer bullpen. Jeffress and now Barnes.
Oh, that's the way the Brewers were able to come back on Friday down in San Diego. That big 5-run night. Had they not had good work out of the bullpen, that wouldn't have been possible.
1-2 to Pham. Broken bat right to VR. And Jacob Barnes is going through the lumber here for the Cardinals. 5 in a row he's retired. 4 of the 5 have been ground ball outs.
Well, let's celebrate that with tonight's Hammer of the Game winner.
Good idea.
The Grand Opera House in Oshkosh, if they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
What if they still have an actual opera performing at the Grand Opera House?
That's a good one.
As opposed to the Grand Ole
Grand
Opry.
Ole. Nashville.
Former AAA home of the Brewers.
I was in Nashville last summer.
Is that right?
All-Star break.
Tell us about it, Rock.
Well, my son came back from Afghanistan. They had their welcome home ceremony at Fort Campbell. After that, we spent a day in Nashville.
Did you go to the historic Ryman?
I did. Got a nice picture. I should bring it in.
Who'd you get a picture with?
Standing there with the wife.
Dolly Parton?
Strumming the guitar.
Oh, I see. You were in the picture.
Yeah, there was
kind of a selfie.
Yeah, right. Well,
Selfie situation.
I paid for the picture.
I thought maybe you ran into somebody famous there.
Nope, just had a good time.
Remember, in the old Nashville ballpark, the Nashville Sounds ballpark, their scoreboard was in the shape of a guitar. Remember that?
Yeah. Had some hot chicken.
Carpenter draws a walk, and the first blemish for Barnes. 2-out walk. Now you're a country music guy. That's probably a perfect spot for you.
Yeah.
I got you pegged for Branson, Missouri, though, in a few years. I think that's going to be a spot for you.
Yeah, I'm in.
Not too far from St. Louis.
We have an off day.
That would be a good off-day trip for you. I think that might be perfect. Marcell Ozuna. Got a pitcher with lightning in his arm and a batter with lightning in the bat.
Man, really quick bat. He could turn around anybody's fastball, but man, Barnes needs to zero in on that cut fastball. That'll keep him honest.
Needs an out. Brewers trailing 4-1. Barnes trying to keep it there. Just missed with the slider. Barnes pitching in his second inning. Bullpen's quiet. Looking ahead to the Brewers' 7th. It'll be the bottom of the order coming up. On the ground, right at Barnes. He's got it in his glove and makes the play. I think he thought the rosin bag was the baseball for a minute. Had it all the way, Jacob. And 2 scoreless innings, allowing the Brewers to keep within shouting distance of the Cardinals. Check this out. Where is it? There. No, that's not it. I got it. I got it the whole time.
Throw the glove.
Baltimore Orioles, and in the first inning it didn't take Carlos Correa to generate some offense. Check this out, an inside the park home run. Hit it off the wall in left center, then the ball got away from Adam Jones, and Correa would come around to score, turn the wheels on, would also score Jose Altuve. That gave them a 2-1 lead.
Sophia, that is a scary ball club. Craig Counsell, after playing the Astros in a 2-game exhibition series, he said he thinks the Astros are going to win 110, 115 games this year.
Yeah.
They are off to a very fast start.
It will be the first time in a long time that a team repeats as World Series champs. Everybody be gunning for him, that's for sure.
And I got to go back to the Yankees, late 90s. VR leads off. Brewers down 3, trying to get something going offensively. Scattered some hits today. Brewers got back-to-back hits in the second, but had a runner thrown out at the plate to end the inning. And then 3 hits in the 5th inning, including an RBI single by Yelich. Matheny trying to get one more hitter out of Sheriff. Turning VR around to hit right-handed. But he is behind 3-0. Arcia is due next, and then the Brewers will have a pinch hitter. That is a strike just on the edge. Astros are 4-1 to start the year. Verlander on the mound tonight, trying to go to 5-1. Three-one pitch and a swing and a miss. 3-2.
Yeah, good movement on that two-seam fastball.
Ryan Sheriff coming back from 3-0. And now the 3-2 is a chopper to third. Carpenter with a high throw, and it's in time for the out. And here comes Arcia.
And Mike Matheny is going to let it ride here, huh?
Got a 3-run lead. Mike Maddox can be a very influential pitching coach, as we all know. Guy who believes in his pitchers.
Well,
That's why pitchers love him.
Well, he's throwing well, right? I mean, leave him in there.
There's Arcia's night at the plate, presented by Wendy's. And he hits a rocket, backhanded by DeYoung across the diamond, in time for the out. Nice play by DeYoung. And Arcia is out. 2 gone in the inning.
Man, left that one over the middle of the plate. Unfortunately, right to the shortstop, DeYoung on a hop. He's steady. Man, good throwing arm over to first base.
So 2 gone. Here is Aguilar, pinch hitting. Santana pinch hit in the 5th inning. Had a single on the first pitch. Sheriff has retired 5 in a row as a strikeout. If Aguilar could reach, Lorenzo Cain in the top of the order coming up next. 2-1. Final game of the series tomorrow between the Brewers and the Cardinals. Jhoulys Chacín and Carlos Martinez. And then the Cubs are here for 4. Brewers are going to go with Suter, Woodruff, Davies, and Anderson against the Cubs.
And good eye by Aguilar. I didn't miss by much.
3-1. Hitters count.
Toughest thing about pinch hitting is being patient when you get in that bat. Hard thing to do. Take close pitches. You want to get up there and swing.
And he draws a walk. Brewers get 2 pinch hit appearances and successful on both occasions. A single and a walk, and here comes Mike Matheny. He will make the change. And after getting 5 outs out of Sheriff, with Lorenzo Cain coming up, Matheny will go back to his bullpen. This will be a double switch. Jairo Munoz will take over at third, and Matheny officially makes a call to the bullpen for Matt Bowman. 4-1 Cardinals. Brewers with a modest threat here in the 7th inning with a man on and 2 outs.
MLB.TV Premium. Enjoy HD streams of all out-of-market games on over 400 different devices. Plus, get a free MLB.com At-Bat Premium subscription when you sign up.
Well, see if the Brewers can move the needle here a little bit. Matt Bowman is on to pitch, and he'll take over for Sheriff. Sheriff goes an inning and 2/3, just a third appearance for Bowman.
He went 2 innings his last time out. That was on April 1st at New York.
Jairo Munoz takes over third on the double switch. So here it is, Bowman against Kane. Brewers down 3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Inside, right across the knuckles of Kane.
Bowman, sinker, slider. Got good movement, gets a lot of ground balls. That's why Matheny calls on him right here.
Lorenzo is 0 for 2 with a walk. On the ground, DeYoung is there and takes the out at second to end the inning. So the Cardinal bullpen has done a good job. Sheriff and now Bowman. We're headed to the 8th. Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Second game here at Miller Park. Game number 5 of the season. Brewers started by winning their first 3, sweeping the San Diego Padres on the road. Lost the home opener yesterday. And hoping for a snatch them back here tonight. They're down 4-1. We're getting late now. 8th inning. And Craig Counsell is going to send on Matt Albers, typically the setup man. But Albers needing to pitch. He'll kind of try to keep the Cardinals at 4.
Yeah, tremendous season a year ago with the Nationals. He's only allowed 1 hit in 2 innings of work. Obviously no runs allowed. Got to put up a 0 here in this inning.
Trying to put a blanket on the red hot Jose Martinez. 3 hits tonight, all singles. 3 for 3, 8 hits on the year. A lot of moving parts with Jose Martinez. But he's been able to get it all timed up beautifully here to start the season. Cardinals didn't hit much in the first 2 games of the season in New York against the Mets. Might have had something to do with their great pitching, but that was not the case with Martinez. Albers is a welcome addition to the Brewers bullpen. Signed a 2-year deal. This was the off season of the reliever. Number of multi-year contracts for non-closers.
Another ground ball pitcher. Throw strikes, able to work the edges and keep the baseball down.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Albers. Albers was with Mike Maddox last year in Washington. Maddox was raving about Albers. Came to camp last year as a non-roster invitee to spring training with the Nationals. Ended up having one of the best years by a non-closer in the big leagues.
Earned run average under 2, 63 appearances, and heck of a job.
Quite a difference from one year to the next. Wondering if he was going to have a job last year to knowing he's got a 2-year deal. He's 35. Albers has been around since '06. He came up with the Astros the year after they made it to the World Series. Lost to the White Sox in '05. Bounced to Baltimore, Boston, Diamondbacks, Indians, went back to the Astros. Found it in 2015 with the White Sox. And then really found it last year.
And the guy you like to have in your bullpen, a guy that's got a lot of experience. He's pretty much seen everything that you could possibly deal with on the mound in a close game.
Doesn't give up many homers, doesn't give up many hits. Full count to Martinez. Got a battle on his hands. On the ground, ranging over VR. Nice pick. Throw to first in time.
And not an easy play for Jonathan VR. Coming in hard, taking a tricky hop, and able to keep it in the glove. That was the hard part, keeping that last hop in the glove. Sometimes they pick up speed on you. Right there. Under control and makes a good throw to first.
Brewers have only committed 3 errors so far in the first 4 games. One of those by a pitcher, Davies. Figures to be a very good defensive team at all positions. It's quite a luxury for Craig Counsell to not only have versatile pieces, but versatile pieces who play the defensive positions above average. So you have all these moving parts, but you're not losing anything defensively.
Sogard, Perez, you play them anywhere, they're not going to hurt you defensively. Might lose a little range with Arcia out of the game, but and then you got Aguilar, who can handle himself pretty well at first base.
And this outfield the Brewers currently have with Braun, Kane, and Yelich. That's as good of an outfield trio as you're going to find in the big leagues. Serious pedigree with all 3 of these guys. 2 balls and a strike on Molina. 2-2 now. Some of the numbers that jump off the page from Albers' year last year. He only gave up 5 hits per 9 innings last year. Struck out over 9 per 9, 9.3 as a matter of fact. Had a strikeout to walk ratio of 3.71. So he's missing a lot of bats. He's not giving up many hits. Gets a lot of ground balls and double plays.
Pretty good whip.
Yeah, the whip, the walks and hits per inning pitched. 0.85 last year.
Right.
Anything under 1 is excellent. Two the count. Roller. Shaw's got it. He's got plenty of time. And a high throw pulls Thames off the bag. That'll be an error by Shaw.
That's what we get for talking about defense.
Yep, you're right.
We should know better. That one's on us, Travis.
What we say up here affects what happens down there. We see it all every night. Shaw only made 9 errors last year. He was about as sure-handed as they come.
Yeah, throws a little bit high, but it looked like Thames might have missed time to leap a little bit. Not, I guess not. That was way over his head.
Molina will reach on the E5. So that'll bring up DeYoung now. And Molina takes off. Pena's throw to second, and he's safe. And VR thinks he got him. Molina had a jumping lead. Albers paid no attention to him.
And still might have gotten thrown out. I don't know. VR, he jumped up. The throw was a little bit high and maybe missed him. I think Craig Counsell wants him to take a look at it. Does he get him?
Well, he knocked his helmet off, didn't he? I can't quite tell from that angle. I don't know if the impact of the ground knocked his helmet off or if his glove did. Should be a good look.
Well, he might have missed him. I don't think he hit him. I don't think he ever touched him.
I think you're right. I mean, it is as close as it could be.
Doesn't get him there. I think that might be the best chance for the Brewers to get the out. Whether he might have swiped the side of his sleeve, but it didn't look like the sleeve moved at all.
Well, believe it or not, Yadier Molina had 9 stolen bases last year.
And a lot of them just like that, I would imagine. Back ends of double steals, and one of the slowest guys in all of baseball. But it doesn't mean you can't steal a base. You got to pay attention to him.
Call on the field is safe. Not sure there's enough evidence to overturn.
Does he get him right there? Boy, if he gets him, it's just barely on the sleeve. The fans reacting to the fact that Molina's helmet came off. I don't think he ever touched the helmet.
Well, we'll see what they have to say. No angle we've seen thus far would indicate that there's enough evidence to overturn, but we'll see. Here comes a call. Safe. So Molina has his first steal of the season as the call stands. He pulled a matrix at second base and avoided the tag.
That's the risk you take when you come in front of the bag to take a throw from home plate. I mean, you straddle the bag and he's going to be out easily. VR in front of the bag caught it and then had to reach back.
Credit Molina with a good slide to avoid that tag. (4-1) Cardinals. And the dangerous DeYoung at the plate.
I think this is a pretty good jump. How about this jump?
Thames not even holding him on.
And he's almost out. Look at this. I mean, that's incredible, but still almost got thrown out. You saw where VR took the throw right in front of the bag. Then had to reach back.
And a shot to right. And they're going to hold Molina. Strong throw from Yelich. First and third for the Cardinals now. DeYoung with his first hit.
That goes right with it. Fastball out of half, and no way Molina's going to try and score on that. Jose Oquena says, "You kidding me? You're not going."
An about face. Well, now Albert is needing a double play. Speedy base runner here in Colton Wong. Tough guy to double up. Brewers are going to take a chance to turn one in the middle infield. Corners are in. Wong is 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts on his line today. Chase Anderson was the Brewers starter. 4 innings, 4 runs. Jeremy Jeffress worked a scoreless 5th inning. Jacob Barnes 2 scoreless innings. The 6th and the 7th, and now it's Albers here in the 8th. Cardinals have 10 hits. Two in the first for St. Louis, 2 in the 3rd, and all 4 runs coming on the home run ball.
Yeah, Wong, a difficult guy to double up. He runs very well.
One and 2 the count on Wong. Matt Albers, one of the many newcomers. A little bit of an under the radar deal. Brewers signing Albers. They also signed Jolie Chassin to be in the starting rotation. Everybody knew about the Kane Yelich deals. Those were the headliners. Sneaky moves, though, to bolster this Brewers ball club. That also includes Boone Logan, who is hurt right now. We're not going to see Boone for a while, probably get into May before he's able to come back from a triceps injury. Dan Jennings arrived to the ball club after the season started.
Yeah, veteran guy they got from Tampa.
Came to the Brewers game 2 of the season. Long with a pop-up. Foul territory, and Thames is there for out number 2. Albers eating him up inside.
Yeah, nice job. He was able to get it in on Wong's hands and jammed him in an easy pop and foul ground.
So 2 gone, and Jairo Munoz will bat. He came in on the double switch. First at bat of the game. Brewers had 2 pitchers hurt in spring training, Boone Logan and Wade Miley. Miley was a non-roster invitee. He pitched well enough and liked being in the Brewers organization enough to decide to stay with the team. They extended the date that they had to declare whether he was on the major league roster or not. Extend that date till he comes back from an injury. Hamstring injury, but he could be a factor as well. He was throwing the ball extremely well this spring. Left-handed starter Wade Miley. Logan, a left-handed reliever.
That's pretty nasty sinker right there, right under the hands. There it is. See the 2-seamer. Watch this. It sinks. He missed it by about 3 inches.
Disappearing fastball. He's got the rookie in a hole 1-2. First and third for the Cardinals. Big pitch here for Albers. And ring the bell. A strikeout to end the inning. Albers works around an error, strands 2 on. Christian Yelich ready to lead off. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Yelich, Braun, and Shaw coming up.
The Cardinals, who are 87-54 here at Miller Park since 2001, looking right at home from the get-go.
Yeah, out of first 3 pitches, 2 home runs. And we talk so much about fastball location with Chase Anderson. Today, started out the ball game, 2 fastballs over the middle plate. Cardinals take advantage.
Yeah, Cardinals have 78 home runs here at Miller Park since 2012. That leads the majors. And coming up on the Flaherty and Medical College of Wisconsin Brewers Live post-game show, we'll take a closer look at the Cardinals' quick start. Plus, we'll hear from Brewers skipper Craig Counsell.
All right, Dario and Augie, thank you. As we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, Christian Yelich will start it for the Brew Crew. Tyler Lyons is on the mound. By the way, we want to send our best out to our colleague Craig Kashawn. Craig's father, Larry, passed away. He was a big fan of the Brewers and all things Milwaukee baseball. Loved the Braves even. Went to the '57 World Series. Huge Wisconsin sports fan. Raised a great kid in Craig. And Lawrence Earl Kashawn passing away. And we're sending our thoughts to Craig and his family. There's Yelich in the air to right center. And that's going to bounce up and out. That'll be a ground rule double, which actually hurts the Brewers here. Yelich would have had an easy triple.
Yeah, he can fly around the bases.
Continues his hitting ways. Yelich with his 2nd hit of the game.
And check it out, the way he stays right in there against lefties. Lyons throwing the slider right down the middle of the plate, and Yelich able to give it a pretty good swing. And a good start to the 8th for Milwaukee.
Just up and out at the green wall, which is recessed from the regular fence. About a 6-foot gap in that area. That designed by Robin Yount, that angled wall in both gaps to promote triples. Ryan Braun now takes a strike. Brewers are right where they want to be in the batting order. Down 3 though. Good start to the 8th with Yelich doubling. Braun is 1 for 3. He's singled in the 4th. Had a big swing. 0-2 the count.
Yep, 89 miles an hour up in the zone. Pretty much the same location of the pitch that Ryan hit out of the ballpark in San Diego.
That was against a left-handed pitcher, Brad Hand. Oh, 2 the count to Braun. Good block by Molina. Those are important plays. Keeps Yelich off third base. A chance to put a runner at third and nobody out. A lot of ways to score in that scenario, but Molina makes it a moot point, as he's done so well all these years.
Hard to get one by him. Saw one get by him in yesterday's game.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Braun. Shaw due next. And a breaking ball called strike 3, and Braun does not like that. He is barking at Jeff Kellogg on his way out.
Yeah, he's thinking that ball went around the strike zone. Kellogg give him a little bit of leeway, let him say his piece and check it out. That's not a strike. That's what you call trying to, backdoor the breaking pitch. And see the way Molina catches it. I mean, that has a lot to do with whether you get a strike call or not.
Well, the first out of the inning. Braun still angry in that dugout.
If Molina catches that pitch where he did, right on the corner, there's no way across home plate.
Right. That's a big call in a big spot. Every pitcher wants that call on the edge. Every hitter certainly thinks the zone is too wide in that case. And Braun looked like he was right.
Well, we saw Lyons in yesterday's game pitch a scoreless inning.
Now he's got Shaw. He's got a couple of left-handers, actually. Shaw and Thames. Yelich a runner at second. Had a double. And now that one's into center field, falling fast. That's down. Base hit. Yelich on his way home. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. And it's an RBI for Shaw. Lefty on lefty. Travis Shaw delivers the second run. And it's 4-2 St. Louis.
Now the 2 lefties with the base hits in this inning against Lyons, huh? Yelich with a double. Now Shaw able to dump one into center. Didn't get all of it. And Lyons got in on his hands. It's a fastball. Somewhat jammed him, but you can see how level the swing is for Shaw, and he's able to muscle it out there into center field. And Christian Yelich able to score easily. He got a decent jump. Had to make sure he was going to drop, but he runs so well. It's Cedar not even hesitating to send him.
Now the tying run at the plate. And Thames into right. Top spinner. It's down. Base hit Thames. Third hit of the inning, and all 3 hits coming off left-handed hitters. Matheny has seen enough.
Well, Eric Thames back-to-back days base hits off of lefties, both of them coming against Lyons.
Tough to get him out of the lineup.
Breaking pitch out over the plate. A little top spin liner out there into right field.
Cardinal outfielders playing extremely deep, trying to cut off the extra base hit. And Shaw and Thames with singles, and the Brewers are cooking right now. A run is in. The tying run is on, and Thames at first base. Manny Pena coming up, and Mike Matheny goes to his bullpen. We'll take a break, set up the new pitcher. Brewers have something going in the 8th. On the way, another pitching change for Mike Matheny. Don't forget, Miller Lite, what's on tap? Tomorrow we're on FS1. Carlos Martinez against Jolie Chassin. FS1 tomorrow is our Miller Lite What's on Tap. That'll be the finale of the series. It's a double switch, and Rock, the new Cardinal pitcher, is Dominic Leone.
Well, Leone acquired from the Toronto Blue Jays in that Randall Grichuk deal back in January, making his second appearance. And the first appearance came on Sunday against the Mets, had a couple of strikeouts.
Manny Pena will bat. Brewers have 3 hits in the inning. Garcia, by the way, takes over at second base. Remember, Matt Carpenter is out of the game, was double switched out last inning. Go ahead, run at the plate.
And Leone can rush it up there pretty good. He's got a fastball, mid to upper 90s, and a slider to go with it.
Coming into a big spot. Shaw and Thames aboard. And a big swing by Pena. He was trying to gun on the first pitch fastball, but he got a wrinkle.
Yep, cut fastball that time. Yep, pretty good location on the corner.
Those it hard too. That came in at 90 miles an hour. Brewers have seen their fair share of sliders tonight. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2 now. Pena had a flair for the dramatic last season. Had a couple of big home runs, including one on Mother's Day. That was a game winner. He'd love nothing more than to hit one out here. Now he's battling with 2 strikes, down in the count. Jonathan Villar due next. 1 out in the inning. Pena fouls it away.
Just in case, Corey Knebel getting loose in the Brewers pen.
Brewers bullpen's been able to hold serve. Cardinals scored all 4 of their runs in the first 3 innings. Knebel and Jennings in the Brewer bullpen. Pena looking for 1 mistake. 26-year-old Dominic Leone. Here's an 0-2. Got him. Got him to bite. 3 consecutive sliders, and Pena is out number 2.
Man, wasn't about to throw him a strike. He hung the one before this. And then it gets him on the cutter off the corner. And last year with Toronto had 81 strikeouts and 70 innings of work. You can see why.
Career highs in appearances and innings and strikeouts. Leone. 2 outs with Villar at the plate. This is his power side, the left side. Shaw at second, Thames at first, representing the tying run. Cardinals are about a week away from unveiling their new closer, most likely, Greg Holland, who is trying to prepare for the season right now. He is in Jupiter at their spring training complex, trying to get ready. Brewers might see him next week. 1-0 pitch. Villar takes a ball, and it's 2-0.
See, that cut fastball might not be as effective against a lefty. Villar likes the ball down and in. Let's see if Jonathan can get a fastball that he can find a gap.
He's homered off Leone in the past of his 3 hits. Hasn't seen a lot of them, but he has success against him. 2 outs. Brewers down 2. VR representing the go-ahead run. And the 2-0 pitch. VR on the ground. That's through. A base hit. Shaw's going to round third. He's coming home. The throw comes in late. And the throw to first is late. Another run on the board. It is 4-3 St. Louis as VR delivers with an RBI single.
There you go. He got his fastball. And he worked himself a hitter's count. Able to find one in the hole in the right field. There you go. That's a cutter again that stayed middle part of the plate. And sneaks one into the outfield. The Brewers are only down by a run.
By the way, how risky was that throw by Molina?
I was getting ready to say. I mean, it almost hit VR. If it hits VR, the game's probably tied.
First and third. Brewers down 4-0 after 3 innings. Tying run 90 feet away as Arcia slaps one foul. Arcia had the game-winning hit in the extra inning game in San Diego on opening day.
He's kind of rolled one in the hole between first and second.
There's a lot of room in that hole right now. No balls and a strike on Arcia. And he popped it up. Ate him up with a fastball, and under it is Pham. And the inning is over, but the Brewers get 2, and they have made things very interesting here at Miller Park. 4-3 St. Louis as we go to the 9th. Brewers get 2 in the 8th. Dexter Fowler started this game with a home run. First pitch he saw. Before we'd even settled in, a home run off Chase Anderson, our Badger Mutual Insurance play of the game. And Fowler and Pham go back-to-back to start this game. A quick 2 spot for the Cardinals. They got a 2-run home run off the bat of Marcell Ozuna in the 3rd. It was 4-0 Cardinals after 2.5 innings. But the Brewers have been able to fight their way back. Got a run in the 5th. Scored 2 last inning. And it's 4-3 as we go to the 9th.
Brewer bullpen been terrific as Dan Jennings takes over here in the 9th inning. Inning in 2/3 against the Padres on Friday. One of the guys that kept things close before the dramatics of the Brewers offense in the 9th.
Jennings turns Fowler around to hit right-handed. Jennings came into a huge mess in San Diego. His first day on the job as a Brewer. Craig Counsell brought him in to face Eric Hosmer with 2 on and 1 out. And he got a double play off of Hosmer to end the inning. What a debut. What a way to start for Dan Jennings, veteran left-hander. Had some really good years with the White Sox. Came to the Brewers from the Tampa Bay Rays. Rays let him go right at the end of spring training. I think the consensus is, Rock, that it wasn't really a release based on his talent and his ability. It had a lot to do with the zeros on the paycheck.
Yeah, money and the fact that the Tampa Bay Rays in their bullpen wanted guys who can go 2-3 innings.
Not feeling like Jennings would be that guy. And isn't it interesting that the first time Craig Counsell uses him, he uses him for an inning and 2/3.
Yeah. He says he can go multiple innings.
Yeah, Jennings feels like he got typecast a little bit as a situational lefty and a guy who can't go multiples. He said he could do both. He'll get his chance to prove it here.
This is where you really have to wonder why you would double switch out Matt Carpenter in these situations. Changing the subject a bit, Carpenter's spot would be due up third in this inning, and instead it's going to be Greg Garcia.
That is one thing Mike Matheny does a lot, is the double switch. It's twice now, back-to-back games. Carpenter has been out of the game. Fowler to first, right to Thames, and Jennings has out number one. Well, because of that rally in the 8th inning, the Brewers are in a great spot in their order. You figure Sogard or Perez will lead off depending on who's in the game. So you have a pinch hitter to start the 9th. And then you have the top of the order coming up. Kane and Yelich, if anybody gets on, Braun. Brewers scored twice, brought 7 batters to the plate in the 8th inning.
Yep, and nobody getting loose in the Cardinals bullpen. Looks like Leon's going to come out again.
Tommy Pham. Pham with 3 hits and a steal. Home run, a double, a single. He scored twice. He stole at a base. Triple away from the cycle. Shoots one foul. Hot one into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Pham.
Yeah, he's another guy that covers the plate pretty well. That was a fastball away. His home run right center was a fastball in on him.
Brewers have used 4 relievers to cover, well, 3 relievers to cover 4 scoreless innings. Trying to use 4 relievers to pick up the last 5 innings, with Jennings being the 4th reliever. Jeffress, Barnes, Albers all go scoreless. 2-2 pitch. Do it again. Jennings deals, and a ground ball in the hole. Long throw. Arcia guns it in time. Boy, does he make up some ground with that arm.
Yeah, well, how far off the ground was that throw? All the way across the diamond.
No gravity hitting that one.
8 feet. Frozen rope.
Pham can really run too.
Check this out. Plants the foot. Missile.
That's something else. That is such a long throw. Arcia made a gem of a play last night, going the other way, going on his glove side with a spin and a throw. Every night he gives you something.
Yeah. Some kind of great play defensively.
So here is Garcia batting in the spot that was occupied by Matt Carpenter to start. Mike Matheny with 2 double switches. as Munoz and Garcia in the game. Cardinals only have one bench player remaining. All well and good if the game ends at 9. If not, they have only their backup catcher left, Francisco Pena. 1 ball, 1 strike on Garcia. 2 outs in the 9th. 1 and 2 now. Boy, you look at the makeup of this bullpen, Rock. It gives you a lot of reasons to smile. There's going to be a lot of games won with this bullpen.
Yeah, they haven't given up a run in 4 innings.
Got some variety down there. You have left-handers, hard throwers.
You got veterans down there, you know, guys that have been there. They've been through the wars before, and they don't get that deer in the headlights look to them when they come into a game, a tight game, and particularly when they come in trouble.
1 and 2. Jennings trying to put Garcia away. Does so. He struck him out. Impressive inning for Dan Jennings. Crowd is up. Brewers trying to come back in the 9th. Pinch hitter, then Kane, then Yelich. Roof is closed on a Tuesday night. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Game 2 of the home schedule, and the Brewers with 2 in the 8th inning. And now within a run of the Cardinals. Leone will continue. Eric Sogard will pinch hit. 4-3 St. Louis. With a theme of 2, the Brewers would love 2 more right here. Trying to come back from 4-0 down after 2.5 innings. First at bat for Sogard coming off the bench. Brewers got a hit from Santana off the bench. Jesus Aguilar walked as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. And now Sogard getting some mileage out of that number 9 position in the batting order. One ball, 2 strikes on Sogard.
Well, a lot of cutters, sliders for Leone since he's come in. Not as effective against lefties as it is against right-handers.
Sogard a very high on base percentage last season. .393 was his on base percentage. Trying to get on here in the air to center field. Little lazy fly ball to Pham. 4 out, number 1. Top of the order. Here comes Kane. Leone came on at the final 2 outs of the 8th inning. Did give up an RBI hit to VR. Those 2 runs in the 8th belong to Lyons. Each club with 10 hits. Brewers down a run. Did he go? He did. Unable to check his swing, and it's 0-2 on Lorenzo Cain.
I don't believe he's thrown a fastball yet. I mean, a 4-seamer. Cutters, just one after another.
Throwing a lot of strikes as well. He's thrown 15 pitches, 12 of them for strikes across 2 innings. Cain able to lay off. Cain called the slider his kryptonite pitch. When he's laying off the slider, he's locked in. This is a tough slider to lay off of, though.
Yeah.
It's hard. Throw that thing at 90 miles an hour. Cain hunting a mistake here. 1-2 the count. Missed high.
There's a fastball.
2-2. Cain with a home run yesterday. 2nd career Brewers home run. Goes 8 years between home runs in a Milwaukee uniform. Christian Yelich due next. Brewers down a run, 9th inning, 1 away. Leone, and a good hack by Cain, but he fouls it back.
Yeah, back to back. 4-seam fastballs, 94 miles an hour. That one tied him up inside.
De facto closer, Dominic Leone. 2-2 the count. Missed 3-2. Well, does that mean he's locked in, partner, when he takes that one?
Yeah, that's a good take. I mean, he was well balanced. He wasn't out in front. Sometimes just seeing the ball like that gives you confidence for the next one.
That's a strikeout for a lot of hitters. Cain lays off. Now it's 3-2, and Cain wants a reset. As if he's icing the kicker, perhaps. (4-3) Cardinals. Leone deals. Cain takes a call. Strike 3. Got him with a fastball. 2 outs in the inning.
And it wasn't looking for that, was he? He was looking for something in that cut fastball away, and Leone crossed him up with a fastball in. Yeah, where is it? Boy, tough pitch.
Can't put it in any better spot than that. So 2 outs. A mound visit. Molina wants to get it straight, brings his infielders in as well. 2 outs, nobody on, and Christian Yelich coming up. Yelich with a double to start the rally in the 8th. Doubled off the left-hander Lyons. Still looking for his first Brewer home run. Braun due next. And if Braun bats, the Brewers will bring the go-ahead run to the plate. By the way, Ryan Braun has 2 home runs off Dominic Leone. Can Yelich get him there? There's a strike. 1-1. Brewers were down to their last strike in San Diego when Braun hit the go-ahead home run. And they're down to their last strike here at Miller Park. 1-2 the count, 2 outs. Fastball or slider? What's it going to be? He's had success with both. The 1-2, and Yelich takes a ball. That tied up Molina.
That looked more like a curveball there. 84 miles an hour. Yeah, trying to breaking out everything to get through this inning. Doing a lot more fastballs. That's a spinner. He took a little bit off of it. More of a slider than a cutter.
2-2. Here he comes, and that one's deep. Right center. Christian Yelich has tied it up. Not once, but twice. With the Brewers down to their last strike already this year, coming up with a monster home run. This time it's Christian Yelich. Down the gauntlet he goes.
I'm telling you, that cut fastball not nearly as effective. Right in the wheelhouse of Christian Yelich, and he knocked it out of here. Check it out, here it is. Ends up down and in. Actually left it up a little bit, and there she goes.
Right in the wheelhouse. Yelich squares it at 4. Now it's Braun who swings and launches. That's his way back. And that is your ball game.
Oh, wow. Woo.
Lightning strikes twice. Ryan Braun has 4 career at-bats against Dominic Leone. That is his 3rd home run, and he wins the game. A walk-off home run. Yelich and Braun go deep, and the Brewers snatch him back tonight.
Nearly unhittable until the last 2 pitches that he throws tonight. Yelich, Braun, and back-to-back pitches. I mean, what else is there to say about that? I mean, that pretty much says it all. Incredible.
And a Gatorade bath on a cold night in Milwaukee. Ryan Braun delivers in the clutch once again. Sophia's ready. Go ahead, Soph.
Thanks, B.A. Well, Ryan, yet again, you come up in the moment. Tell me about how you relied on your previous experience against Dominic Leone to come up with that walk-off home run.
You know, as a player, you hope you get an opportunity to be in that moment. So I think it's about controlling your emotions. A lot of it is the desire to be in that moment. It's something I've always looked forward to. You know, you're not going to come through every time, but when you do, it feels good.
Well, how good does this one feel?
It's a great win. You know, the way it felt early, it wasn't going well for us. These guys are really swinging the bats. It didn't look good probably through about the 4th or 5th inning, but we continue to battle and compete. Second game, we find a way to win like this. You know, last year we missed the postseason by 1 game, so find a way to win games like this, that could be the difference at the end of the year.
Take me through the comeback, too, how this started in the 8th, and then following up Christian Yelich's first home run as a Brewer, how this game changed.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it started with our bullpen in like the 4th or 5th inning. Whenever they came into the game, those guys hold it down. Got some big outs for us, obviously. It's really tough to hold this lineup scoreless for 5 or 6 innings or however many innings they threw. Starting in the 8th, a bunch of good at-bats. Obviously, in the 9th, Christian got the 2 strikes. He's such a great hitter. The Brewer fans are going to love having him here. He hit a homer, gave me an opportunity, and I was fortunate enough to come through.
All right, thanks, Ryan, for your time. Your 4th career walk-off home run. That's Ryan Braun, and what a moment here at Miller Park, PA.
No kidding. He's freezing to death after that Gatorade bath. But, Rock, that's the first walk-off for him in 7 years. This guy, time in, time out, delivers in the clutch.
There it is, the cut fastball, and Leone, he made a mistake with it, and he knocked it out of here. 88 down the middle, up. Baya. Just incredible. I mean, this guy, Dominic Leone, was unhittable until the last 2 pitches he threw tonight.
Ryan Braun has 3 hits this year. 2 of them are game-winning home runs. What a start. Let's send it to Dario. He's ready for Brewers Live. There you go, partner.
Wow. Talk about the Cardiac crew living up to their name, winning their first home game of the season in walk-off fashion. We're going to take another look back at the back-to-back walk-offs. Let's hear from Craig Counsell coming up in Brewers Live.